Good morning. My name is Vivian, Tori, and I live in Atakaku First Nations. I'm a 60 scoop survivor out here in Saskatchewan in Treaty 6 territory, and my siblings and I were taken from my mom from Big River First Nations during that era, and that was an era after residential school, and it's called 60 scoop, where 60,000 kids from Saskatchewan, from provinces across Canada, were taken from treaty communities. And I figured it out is because we were non-status. And I also followed the line. My grandfather disenfranchised, leaving my mom non-status and leaving us without that protection. And so now my way of thinking is kind of changing. And so I do live here in Atakaku. And the things that I see going on around me, that treaty it's not going to do much for our people in the long run. They're currently trying to change everything over to municipalities, and I see all of these things happening and unrolling, and they're trying to keep a level of secrecy. But when I hear about such, like this morning I posted on my Facebook page about the purchase of so many items out here within this community with those monies. And then they were talking about other bands that are buying up lands out here in Saskatchewan and putting housing on them. And, it's just the level of thinking and what we've seen in this community for I've been here for just about a decade, and I've heard lots from a lot of people. So it's fitting, it's suiting. It's going in that way, and it's going to leave a lot of people from Atakaku unprotected because nobody is really speaking up about anything. And the powers that be, like I said, is all one family. So this morning I just wanted to come and say that, I've written to the governments over and over and over again about these situations that I see are criminally happening, illegally happening. I've tried to address them. I've tried to have the RCMP address them, and that's our justice system out here, right? That's our justice system in Saskatchewan. I've also seen questionable things happening within this courtroom, within this justice system, within Atakaku. I put the documentation out there that, these Ahenakews have been allied with this government since signing. And I question a lot of the things that they've gotten away with. Like how does our director from Child and Family Services, a child protection agency, who has continually taken away the kids of many dangerous offenders, many drug addicts, many, addicted people, how are our courts allowing a dangerous offender, a non-member to Atakaku, released into her custody, into her home where she only has girls? She is a child protective agent of the highest rank out here in this community. So how come that double standard exists, where when we wanted to put our home as a foster home, a safe zone for children, she refused to allow that and the worker said that to us, we were unsafe. So I've pretty much given up on the Saskatchewan government and finding the answers to reverse some of these systems that are really hurting our people, really killing our people. And this morning I've shared on my page as well about, all of the purchasing that they're doing, the physical aspects, the monetary gains, the things that make ours look so grand. But behind the scenes, it's death after death after death after death after death. And they silence the media, so the media is not reporting it, right? So it's looking really good for leadership out here. So over the weekend I had a situation happen with the kid's dad. He is an Ahenakew out here, and he did bring up the situation, the Brennan Ahenakew situation with his daughter, and it just justified to me and acknowledged to me the level of narcissism that this family really carries. And that, he still blames me for everything, our breakup, and I'm the crazy one. He's still doing the drugs. He's still doing the cocaine. He's still drinking. He was drunk when he uttered all these things to my daughter, telling my daughter she didn't understand the depth or didn't understand the situation, why she couldn't live at her dad's house because people were accusing her of murder. He's a coward. And then he continued to call me a meth monkey and I told the kids, I was like, he's robbing a house that I haven't lived in a decade. So enjoy the fucking space, loser, because you're there by yourself. So yeah, so that is the belief. And, you know, he is part of the Sahenekeu family. He is part of that mindset. He also said that his uncle who was at all of these meetings when all of these invitations happened, when this discussion happened for the house. I am also standing in the house that the kids grew up in before I moved out here. And it was one of the Sahenekeu's relations that threatened my daughter to kill her, burn her in a house. He burned this house down. So we're standing in it. That is my house over there, you know, very close, you know, so, and the RCMP, nobody's investigating any of that. They've stalked my daughter to the point where she miscarried. Nobody investigated any of that. I was abducted by hospitals. Nobody investigated that. I was highly humiliated and abused in this community over and over and over again. I've shared it all on my page. Nobody investigates that. I received emails from the government over the weekend. I refused to open them. I will not look at them. They all have my phone numbers. I asked for phone calls. I am not jumping through any more hoops, and I refuse to meet them in the middle because they have not met me in the middle. They opened the door for a fucking hate camp out here to abuse us because we are Canadian citizens and not Treaty Sahenekeu citizens. Think about what David Sahenekeu had said about the Jews. That is that mindset. That is that concept. And that is what they're doing out here to Canadian citizens who don't hold treaty. Now, what did the Germans do to the Jewish people? They numbered them and made them claim that. And if you didn't belong to the right nation, you were fucking abused. So, you know, I think about all of these things. I think about our governmental systems. I think about what's happening in Winnipeg. I think about what happened to Mr. Bowden Saskamoose, who is a member here in Sandy Lake, not a Sahenekeu. And how many was our chief and council over there supporting that family? Were they there? I would like to know that. I would also like to know what's going on with that situation. You know, are those officers being charged? Because that was a murderous act. Just like all of these people out here threatened to kill, stalked to kill, assaulted, cyber stalked, a life was lost. So it is conspiracy amongst this authority out here. I've read it all. And I've listed over and over the same fucking group, 5 to 6 of them, this same group over and over. We lost a baby. We lost a house. My car was vandalized. We have been stalked and nobody is doing anything. The narcissistic minds and egos that run this place, there's a reason for it. Because our government, the people that they are working with here in Saskatchewan, health, that is the email I got over the weekend. I refuse to look at it because I see them in the paper shaking hands with the health minister. So fuck that. They set me up, and so going forth, I'm going to work on healing. I'm tired of writing. I'm tired of the lies. I'm tired of it. And you know what? I'm tired of fighting this fight alone. Because it's going to be one of yours someday. And everybody just sits quiet and watches the drama and doesn't help, doesn't lift a hand. Someday it could be you. Could be your daughter. Could be your granddaughter. I just brought my granddaughter home. And that's what's going through my mind. And I'm glad that I'm here to protect mine. Yeah, we're here to raise them. We're not here to save them. They have to save themselves. We're here to lay that mentorship, that ground for our children. That's my intent. But I will save. And if it gets too big for them, that's when I step in. And that's what I did since 2018. So now my children are adults. We're all adults. We're getting the therapy. We're getting the help. But these people need to be held accountable because this cycle will continue. We're seeing it every day. Thank you. Thank you.